Let's talk some movie news. There has been a lot that's been announced the past 2 weeks, so we gotta catch up. Up first, there's an animated Venom movie announced from Sony. As you know, we had the trilogy, probably the best Spider-Man spin-off films we've had that didn't have Spider-Man in them. I mean, Morbius, Kraven the Hunter, and I never even watched Madam Web. But we know Sony excels at animation, so this is interesting. Tom Hardy is going to be involved. We don't know a lot about the story, but there are rumors it could be the King in Black story, which would be sweet. This is where we have Null, the symbiote king, and he invades Earth with an army. The one downfall would be it being made by Sony. We couldn't have the X-Men, the Avengers, everybody that's in the comic, but would still be awesome. And as I said before, Sony excels at animation. K-pop Demon Hunters, yes, I'm admitting I watched it. The Spider-Verse movies, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. And I just saw Goat, which was a pretty goated film. Okay. Next is news about Planet of the Apes 5. So in 2024, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was released, set 400 years after the original trilogy. But the issue is it performed smaller than anticipated. So the budget was $160 million, which means after marketing and all the other costs, it needed $350 to $400 million to make a profit. Well, it made $397 million, so it was a modest success, but let's put it into perspective. Rise of the Planet of the Apes cost $93 million, made $481 million. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes cost $170 to $200 million, made $710 million. And then War for the Planet of the Apes was $150 to $190 million and made $490 million. So all much higher than this newest one. The last news we got was back in 2024, and they confirmed that the new Planet of the Apes would have a 2027 release date. It's been 2 years. We've had no updates. I'm hoping we get another film, though. I love this franchise. I've seen some of the older ones, but this new one, it looks great. The story's good. War of the Planet of the Apes got really dark. I definitely like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes more, but it still makes for a good story. They don't hold back on the emotions. So hopefully we'll get some news soon. Up next, what's up? If that doesn't give it away, Scary Movie 6 is coming out. They've released the trailer, and if you didn't see my trailer reaction, go check it out. I talk a lot about the Wayans brothers versus the Weinsteins, but this trailer is unhinged. And at the end of the trailer, they say every line will be crossed, and based on the things they put in that trailer, they're not holding back. I can't remember which Wayans brothers said it, but they basically said they do not care who they offend. Which is honestly what comedy should be, because there's different types of comedy, but the past decade, Hollywood has gotten so nervous about being canceled or politically correct that they've kind of forgotten that humor can be offensive. It's okay. The big thing is we got the original cast back. The Wayans brothers are back for the first time since the second film. Not only in it, but directing. We got Regina Hall, Anna Faris, and then some other side characters from Scary Movie 1 and 2. This is going to be a huge win for comedy, especially after The Naked Gun last year. Definitely pushing the borders of offensive comedy. I think this is going to be great. And also a huge win for the Wayans brothers. I didn't realize it. After asking for an increase in pay from the Weinsteins, you know, those pieces of crap, the Weinsteins apparently paid terribly.
Oh, who could have seen this coming? Whoa!
The Weinsteins fired them, but they didn't even know they were fired until Christmas Eve. And then, not only did they fire them, they gave the whole pitch for Scary Movie 3 to a different director, and then, of course, made it worse than it was gonna be. So, in the mystery department, we have a Scooby Doo live-action Netflix series. This was announced quite a while ago. I never knew about it, but we got some new news. First of all, it's gonna be a prequel series. Filming starts in April. There's gonna be 8 episodes, so I'm guessing a 2027 release date. This will be the first time we've had a live-action Scooby-Doo since the 2002 and 2004 sequel. The ones that starred Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Linda Cardellini. We had a great cast. I will say that Matthew Lillard was probably the best parts of those movies, but we have had a cast member announced. And guess who it is? Drum roll, please. No. It is McKenna Grace as Daphne. McKenna Grace, as I've said many times, is in everything. She was just in Scream 7 when I watched it. She was in Regretting You. She was in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And now she's going to be in Scooby Doo. As of yet, we don't have any other cast members confirmed. The one thing that does bum me out is we never got a sequel to Scoob. Did you ever see Scoob? It was the animated prequel Sony gave us. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. They even had finished production on the sequel, and I believe it was going to be like a Christmas setting for Scoob 2, but for a tax write-off or something, we're never going to get it. Another live action / CGI movie news, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 has confirmed a cast member. So Amy Rose, the love interest to Sonic, she's going to be played by Kirsten Bell, or I should say voice acted by Kirsten Bell. So Amy Rose started about 30 years ago in the video games, and this will be our first time seeing her in live action. Apparently Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is releasing March 2029. Kind of a while, geez. Man, did I write that right? Is that a typo? 2029 seems like a ways away. There's rumors that Metal Sonic will be the new villain, mainly because we see an army of Metal Sonics. Maybe not an army, but we see like a dozen or so attacking Sonic at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And then Amy comes in and saves him. So I guess we've seen her before, but she has not been voiced yet. The only main villains I really know from Sonic, I haven't played a ton of the games, but I've watched the cartoons. I played some of the older games, but it was always Metal Sonic, Robotnik, and Shadow. And as we know, Shadow isn't always a villain. Well, I guess none of those characters are always villains. Sometimes they cross over. So I'm curious who the villain's gonna be. Do you guys have any thoughts? Who would you like to see be the villain? I'd love to be enlightened. I'm hoping other movies are taking notes also. Sonic has had a crazy journey in the movie franchise, from having one of the worst trailers put out with terrible CGI, which I still think might have been a publicity stunt just to create hype because it worked, to a great franchise that have made over $1 billion. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, when Shadow and Sonic are fighting, that was epic. And as a fan of Dragon Ball Z, it felt like I was watching Dragon Ball Z in live action, if live action was CGI made hedgehogs. And also, here's a little rant, just give me a sec. Did Sonic copy Dragon Ball Z? Dragon Ball Z, we got 7 Dragon Balls, make any wish. We have Saiyans, and they go Super Saiyan, meaning they get spiky blonde hair, they can fly, they're really strong. And in Sonic, there's 7 Chaos Emeralds. When you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you can go Super Sonic or Super Shadow. You get golden yellow spiky hair and get really powerful and can fly and do blasts. And I'm not judging them, it's awesome. I'm just saying maybe it wasn't their original idea. So back to the world of scary movies, not the comedy scary movie, but Scream 7, which I just saw in theaters. So if you follow these movies, you've probably been seeing the hate online. I'm kind of along with that hate. No, I didn't hate the movie, but I was very disappointed, especially in the ending. Not gonna spoil it for all of you, but the reveal and twist may have been my least favorite in the franchise. But apparently they filmed 2 versions. And as you know, in the trailer, you hear Stu Macher's voice played by Matthew Lillard. He was confirmed to be in the cast. Before I say this, it is gonna be a spoiler because now you'll know what doesn't happen. But apparently they had filmed one ending that included Stu Macher being Ghostface. Apparently they showed it to test audiences and they could not stand it. They said it doesn't make sense. It makes more sense that Stu Macher stays dead, that it's not actually him, but it's someone pretending to be him. And obviously I wasn't in the test screening. I haven't seen this ending. I'm just wondering what those audience members are thinking now if they saw the real movie and the real ending, because the real ending sucked. Having Stu Macher would have easily been better than what they did. Maybe it would have been a little weird. I'll take weird and a little sloppy over just complete crap. In superhero news from DC, we have the Lantern series trailer out. I just watched it. Honestly, I have some mixed feelings. So it looks like it's gonna be a buddy cop style movie. Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre is playing Jon Stewart. That I am excited about. I grew up with Jon Stewart in the DCAU universe. You know, Justice League Unlimited. Amazing series. But a lot of people are hating on it. I'm not hating on this trailer. It looks interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what angle they're going. I mean, they announced they want it to be a Western buddy cop style show. And you definitely get that feel. And they said they're aiming to make it a lot more quality, similar to True Detectives and other HBO series. But this is Green Lantern. He's a space hero. He's a member of the Justice League. And I'm just worried they might be doing this to make the budget easier, so they don't have to have all the CGI. Or, honestly, after the Ryan Reynolds fiasco with that movie, maybe they just don't want it to look cheesy when they first show Green Lantern. Maybe they're not sure how to angle it yet, so this is a safe way to introduce him in a very serious, mature show, and then they'll bring him into the Justice League. Or maybe there is going to be a lot of space scenes, and they're really just showing us the first few episodes, and they're not revealing everything, which would be smart, as it doesn't come out till August. Either way, I trust James Gunn. What's interesting about this is it's TVMA. There's a lot of swearing. It's a lot more mature. So it seems like James Gunn is sticking to what he said before when he said, I'm paraphrasing, he said he didn't want everything just to feel like how Marvel became, like every movie, similar jokes, similar vibes, but he wants the show to fit the characters. So not that Green Lantern swear a lot, but there is darker stories in Green Lantern. And Superman, lighthearted, PG-13. Peacemaker Season 2, very mature, the character. And now Green Lantern, a TVMA show. And now we got a movie coming out later this year called Clayface, which will be a rated R horror movie. I do give James Gunn respect there, and I think that's awesome. Anyways, everybody, thanks for joining me on the movie news today. Happy to have you in the bathroom anytime, but not in a weird way, just in a let's talk about some movies way.